Good morning to everybody. How you doing? Hope all's well. Keep up the beautiful work. Today is Tuesday, Parashat Zivahim. We are continuing the holy words of our rabbis in the Mishnah Yomi. We are in Masechet Zivahim, Perek He, Mishnah Vav. He Vav stands for Hatzlacha Uberacha, Be'ezrat Hashem, for everybody. It's a beautiful thing to learn Torah, especially nowadays in the 9 days. And we hope by you learning Torah and doing the beautiful things that you do, the 9 days will be abolished and we will not have Tisha B'Av as a fast day this year. Mishnah Vav. We are discussing the korbanot, their places, and by whom they are allowed to be eaten, etc. We discussed in the past few Mishnayot the Kodashim, Kodesh Kodashim, the holy korbanot, and now we're on a less of one level of holiness in the korbanot, which we call Kodashim Kalim, a lighter holiness, but obviously it's still very holy. The korbanot that we're going to mention is Hatodah Ve'el Nazir, the korban Todah, when someone travels, when someone has to say Hagomel today, so they used to bring a korban Todah. Together with that, they brought many loaves of bread, 40 to be exact, as a korban of thanks to Hashem. And then the El Nazir, which the Nazir brought at the end of his term of Nazirut, he would have to bring a korban. Kadashim Kalim, they're a little lighter, but they're still holy. Shechitatan b'chol makom ba'azara. It does not have to be in the north like until now we were learning all the korbanot. It could be anywhere in the courtyard of the Beit HaMikdash. V'daman ta'un shte matanot shen arba. They need to be sprinkled. The blood has to be sprinkled on the Mizbeach, but only 2 sprinklings on each 2 corners, which means on all 4 sides, have like we were learning in the past. You could eat it in the whole Yerushalayim. Lechol adam, to anyone, even someone who's not a kohen. Bechol ma'achal, in any way of preparing it, roasting, cooking, etc. Liyom v'layla ad hatzot. It should be for a day and a night until midnight. Hamura mehem kayot Zivahim. The rule is that we take a certain parts from these korbanot to give to the kohanim. So those are hamuram, those are lifted up from these korbanot. They have the same laws. However, those parts are only eaten by the kohanim and their families. Ela shahamuram ne'echal kohanim. Those that are taken off the korbanot for the kohanim, they're eaten only by the kohanim. Linchehem, by their wives, vilivnehem, and their children, ula'avdehem, and even their servants in the home. Mishnah Zayin, shelamim, korban shelamim, which we hear about all the time. Kadashim Kalim, they are also in this category. Shechitatan b'chol makom ba'azara. Once again, you could slaughter it anywhere in the whole azara, in the courtyard. V'daman ta'un shte matanot shen arba. It requires 2 sprinklings, which is really 4 on the 2 corners. V'nechalim b'chol ha'ir. You could eat it in the whole Yerushalayim. L'chol adam, to anyone. B'chol ma'achal, in any way of preparing it. L'shnei yamim v'layla had. 2 days and 1 night. That's how it's a little different from the previous korban. Hamuram mehem. Once again, we take off parts from the shelamim for the kohanim. Kayot Zivahim. It has many of the same laws with where and how. However, ela shehamuram nechal kohanim. Only kohens allowed to eat it. Linchehem, their wives, v'livnehem, and their children, ula'avdehem, and their servants, their slaves that are at home. Mishnah Het. We'll put another one in the bank for this coming Shabbat. HaBechor, v'hama'aser, v'hapesach. There are 3 different korbanot. We know if someone has a Bechor, they have to give it to the Kohen. If it's the child, the first child that came out of an animal, just like we have pidyon, sort of to say, so too over here it has to be given to the kohen. V'hama'aser, there's ma'aser behema, the 10th one, the 10th animal that someone had in their flock new that year. They have to also bring it as a korban. V'pesach and korban pesach, which we are all aware of. These are in the category once again of kadashim kalim, the lighter korbanot. Shechitatam b'chol makom ba'azara. You're allowed to slaughter it anywhere in the courtyard. V'daman ta'un matana hat. Only 1 sprinkling on these 3 korbanot. Ubevad sheiten keneged hayesod, but it has to be on the mizbeach in a place where the foundation is sticking out, because there are certain places on the mizbeach where the foundation is not sticking out. Shina ba'achilatan. However, all three korbanot that we brought are a little different in who can eat them. Habechor ne'echal kohanim. The firstborn korban is only eaten by the kohanim. However, v'hamaaser lechol adam. The 10th animal that we mentioned from maaser behema, that could be eaten by any person. V'nechalim b'chol ha'ir. It can be eaten in the whole entire city of Yerushalayim. B'chol ma'achal. Any way of preparing it. L'shnei yamim v'layla ahad. For 2 days and 1 night. HaPesach, of course, we know the Korban Pesach is a little different. Eno ne'echal ela balayla. It can be slaughtered anywhere in the Azara, in the courtyard, but it could only be eaten for 1 night, the night of Pesach. Ve'eno ne'echal ela ad chatzot. And even though you have that night, it's until midnight of that night. Ve'eno ne'echal ela limnuyav. You're only allowed to eat from it if you were part of the group beforehand. It has to be allotted to certain people beforehand, and once they bring the korban, someone new cannot come in and join. Ve'eno ne'echal ela tzali, as the Torah says, you have to roast the korban Pesach. You're not allowed to cook it in any other manner. We'll stop here for today. I hope everyone has the greatest day. Keep up the beautiful work. Good things always. All the best. Bye.